too excited to leave the preview thing going too long here. We have ourselves a coach, boys. After all we've been through, we have ourselves a coach. This is your first time watching. Thanks for watching the Jaguars United live show. I haven't done a live show in a while. I kind of been doing some other stuff with my soundboard, so let me know how this mic sounds. It could be like too loud or too quiet. You let me know how this is going. But I feel like tonight is going to be kind of a poppin' show because we finally have ourselves a coach. After all of this stuff that's going on, after everything that's happened, it's been quite a tumultuous couple weeks. And here we are. The Jags have themselves a coach in Doug Pederson. So it's weird because this is kind of like who we all thought the Jags were going to hire. And now here we are with Doug Pederson being hired. And it's kind of this weird feeling because it's we went through this process of wanting Byron Leftwich. And then they threw in the whole O'Connell thing. It was weird. It was weird. But nonetheless, here we are. Before we get into it, make sure to follow on Twitter. I'm popping on Twitter 24/7. I don't do YouTube videos all the time, but Twitter all the time. DJM says I sound sexy. Thank you, DJM. I appreciate that. Man, look, this is it, dude. Follow on Instagram. You know all the normal things. I've been doing Twitch. If you're into Twitch, I'm on Twitch. Jags_United. But here we are, dude. We have a head coach. After all this time, I mean, the Twitter, if you're on Twitter, Twitter has just been obnoxious lately. And look, I love the Twitter people. I do. I love them all. The clown avatars, the hashtags firebalky. You know me, bro. I love all that junk. I'm just glad we have a resolution. I feel like Doug Pederson was kind of who we wanted all along. I'm a little confused about what took so long. I don't know if they wanted to hire other people or if they were looking into other situations. Didn't we know from the beginning that Pederson would work with Balky? Isn't that? I don't know. If you're the first time here watching the show, I don't do much when it comes to commenting on the Jags. I let the comments do the talking. So if you have an opinion about the hire and everything, put it in the comments. I feel like tonight's show is going to be a little more popular than usual. So if it's a good comment and I miss it, just type it again and we'll get to it again. But dude, I'm glad I haven't done a show in a couple weeks. This is intentional. I mean, what am I gonna do? I've been doing film breakdowns for 2 weeks. I got all this film cut ups of I mean, look at this. I mean, I've just I'll show you guys here. Look at this. Look at this. I'll put it on this screen here. I got Evan Neal, Jordan Davis, Trevon Walker. Dude, we got it all, dude. We got film breakdowns coming. All right, so don't worry about that. All right, so let me get to some of your comments here. Gotta go all the way up here. Jason Ortiz says forced. I love it. Forced. Like forest or first. I love it. Rico says let's go. DJM says Jason San. Rico says finally. Dude, honestly, I was just chilling, dude. I saw the news come up about the Jags hiring Pederson. I was like, let's do it, dude. Let's run it. Let's run a show. Jags fan says we got ourselves a coach. Charlie Boy says I'll take it. Gator Chomp says hello, Duval. Robert Atras says fire everyone. Robert, we just hired a coach. How are we gonna? You mean fire everybody but Doug Pederson? Jason Ortiz says good hire. The process to get here was abysmal though. Yeah, for sure. DJM with the party emojis. This process has been exhausting. So glad it's over. Holy smokes! Now we need an offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator. That's true. I mean, the coordinators are gone. Let me just say this about all the coaches that everyone was talking about. All the coaches that you wanted to bring in here, you know, whether it was O'Connell, whether it was Leftwich, whether it was Kellen Moore. I'm gonna go on a limb here, and I've said a little bit, kind of cryptically through Twitter the last couple weeks. I gotta be straight with you guys. None of those coaches wanted this job. I know y'all don't want to hear this. I know you guys want to scapegoat Shad Khan and you want to scapegoat Trent Baalke. None of those guys wanted this job. If they wanted this job, they would have took it. I've told you, the second we fired Urban, that this was not a place that anyone wanted to come. What coaches and agents do is they put out information about interest in other teams' jobs. I mean, look where all this information is coming from. None of this information came from anywhere credible. Random people who had phone numbers of random agents were getting. Do you think O'Connell really had interest from Jacksonville? Seriously. Everyone was so quick to bash Shad Khan for going after O'Connell right before the Super Bowl game or the playoff game. Do you really think that there was any interest in O'Connell. He was trying to leverage more money in Minnesota. Like, you guys have to think about this. Like, none of these guys wanted this job. If you're asking me honestly, I know it's not popular. I think Byron wants that coach and waiting job from Arians. I think Kellen Moore wants the Dallas job. I think O'Connell knew he wanted the Minnesota job. These guys, they had no interest in Jacksonville. There's no appeal here, and you guys don't want to hear that because these guys are valuable coaches. You know what kind of coaches are coming to Jacksonville? Doug Pederson, Jim Caldwell. And look, I get it is what it is. It is what it is. Do these agents play this game every year, and they use Jacksonville to play this game, and it just sucks. Eberflus didn't even want the job. We were all like, oh, I don't know if we want him or not. Cole Stevens, a coordinator, well-respected. He doesn't even want this job. Dan Quinn didn't even interview for this job. Like, you have to understand the way these politics work in coaching, and it's not always as – look, we had a list of 8 teams that needed head coaches this offseason. Jacksonville was 7th or 8th on that list. We talked about that on our last show. Take it however you want. That means you're going to get the 7th or 8th best candidate that's out there. And the 7th or 8th best candidate was Doug Pederson. And I'm fine with it. Because honestly, we need somebody that can come in and establish a culture that's worked. I mean, Doug Pederson's one of the very few people that's won a Super Bowl as a player and a coach. And there's only been like 4 people that have done that. He comes from the Andy Reid coaching tree. I love the Andy Reid coaching tree. I love Andy Reid. For everyone that wanted Byron Leftwich, I mean, Doug Pederson's probably a proven, successful Andy Reid tree coach, and Byron is unproven. So something has to be said for that. All right, that's my soapbox. And I know people aren't going to like to hear that, but it's the truth. It's the truth. If you've watched people, I love it. I love it. It's either Balky or me. I've been a fan since 2005. Oh, you've been a fan since 2005? Dang, bro, that's crazy, dude. 2005, I was freaking working a 9 to 5 in 2005. Try being a fan since 95, dude. Like, what are we going to do? We're going to jump ship? We're going to quit being fans? Y'all don't want to hear it, bro. Y'all don't want to hear it, bro. Y'all really don't. I'm not drinking y'all's Kool-Aid. Let's get to these comments. Vic Fangio is DC. Yeah, it'd be great. I think he's going to go somewhere else. He's a good coach. I'd love to get Vic Fangio. You have to interview 2 African-American coaches. It's a new rule. Okay. You're talking about the Rooney Rule, Jacob? I don't know. I'm lost in the comments, guys. My bad. Predator. Okay, he's a channel member. He says, let's go. He says, Doug Pederson was the guy I wanted. I'm so hyped. I think Doug Pederson was a guy that, like, most people that knew football figured would be the hire. And look, if you're the Jags and you wanted Doug Pederson, he's not a guy that you have to hire immediately. You can do some interviews, right? So I think it worked out that Doug Pederson got hired. I think they knew all along. I think, look, this was drawn out. We were drawing so much speculation from people that had no idea what they were talking about. Like, I love Dilla. Dilla's a great person on Twitter. He was the most knowledgeable insider on this whole process that anyone knew. I mean, now all these blue check marks, they knew nothing. Shad Khan doesn't say anything. He's just, I know you guys don't want to hear it. He's a smart businessman. Now, when it comes to football, he's a smart businessman when it comes to business. He knows he's not going to air out his laundry unless he has to. He doesn't show his cards unless he has to. That's why no information came out. None. I'm going to try to get caught up here. Sky Langford, why are they keeping Balky? That's a good question. And the point about Balky is, like, what scares me is these, like, lame duck GMs that come in for a year that should have been fired. They bring in a coach, and then the next year, both the GM and the coach get fired. Like, remember when Shad Khan took over and they fired Gene Smith and they fired Mike Mularkey? Like, I hope that doesn't happen next year, but I could totally see that situation happening next year where Pederson and Balky get fired and they bring in a whole new crew. I mean, look, it's all about who's available. This coaching cycle, there was a lot of head coaching openings. That doesn't bode well for the teams that are looking for coaches, especially a team like Jacksonville that has a history of dysfunction in their front office. It's not a great coaching cycle for us, I'm not going to lie. A guy that I was kind of targeting the whole time was Kellen Moore. He didn't really take a job. Obviously, you know, there's coaches out there. I mean, the Saints coach, you know, is he gonna want to coach next year? I don't know. Predator says Eagles head coach brought them a Super Bowl. Okay. Ben Lotz says, I wanted Eric for the last 2 years. Is it Eric Bieniemy? I don't know who you're talking about here. I'm sorry. I'm super behind on the comments. I'm usually more organized, but we're usually not popping off like this. So, Washington State Jags fan says, Jag United in flexes. Are you saying I'm looking big? Or because I've been hitting the gym. I'm not going to lie. Matt Talks Beer says, we have to give him a chance. As long as we win 5 to 6 games, we're moving in the right direction. We can't get worse. I mean, we've had the number 1 pick for 2 years in a row. We really cannot get worse. I promise you. Hassan Nawaz says, ha 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 ha, bear down. Okay. I'm sorry if I'm skipping it. I'm trying to get here. I really am. Bruce McGriff says, RPO game is going to be fire with Peter. Dude, Bruce, I don't know if you've been on this channel, if you've seen my film breakdowns. I am an RPO fan, dude. I want to see RPOs every single play. That's what, dude. Urban Meyer invented the RPO. I thought when he came here to Jacksonville, I thought Urban Meyer was going to run RPOs every play. Didn't see one. Freaking Urban Meyer. Quattrell Bishop says he also won a Super Bowl. Yes, he did. Sky Langford says, I do wonder how much leverage Shad is giving Doug over Trent. Dude, Shad Khan's not telling us anything, dude. We know nothing. We know absolutely nothing about anything. That's what I've been trying to say cryptically in tweets for the last 2 months. Dude, people are giving their opinions. We know nothing, dude. Shad Khan's not said a single word. The biggest criticism you could give this organization and Shad Khan are the people that are like, Shad Khan hasn't said anything to the fans. You can criticize him for that because that is true. Because we don't know anything, dude. The speculation and the hate that's been thrown around when we know, and this is a family-friendly show, and I don't like going here. We know jack shit about what has been happening in these closed-door meetings. We don't know. Trent Baalke could just be literally Trent Baalke could have a scouting crew of people that are scouting the Senior Bowl and scouting the college football players, and they need to draft. We've seen time and time again GMs get fired the day after the draft because their scouting crew and their team of scouts knew more about their prospects than anyone else. Are you going to fire a GM who has an entire team of scouts that have pages and pages and notebooks on college players before the draft and bring in someone random who's done no research? We see it happen all the time. People get fired right after the draft. It happens. So for people that are like, Shad Khan's kept Baalke, we don't know. We don't know what the situation is. I'm sorry. I'm not siding with Shad Khan. I'm not siding with Trent Baalke. I'm not here for the hate, bro. I'm just trying to make you guys think about what actually happens behind those closed doors. Y'all don't want to hear it, bro. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Look, this channel's about honesty, bro. I've never once come on here and tried to gaslight y'all. Ever once, dude. Ever once. Sky Langford says Cullen was awesome. Cullen was awesome. It's hard to retain coaches with different coaching staffs. It just doesn't happen very often. It's not really an issue of them not being good coaches. It's just, it doesn't really happen. You want your own people. That's just what it comes down to. Ben Hone. What up, Ben? He says, I'm only okay with this if we get an executive vice president. The last time we got an executive vice president, we brought in Tom Coughlin. Everyone was pumped about Tom Coughlin. They said, okay, Tom Coughlin's going to come in, and he's going to be over Dave Caldwell, and all our problems are fixed because our horrible GM now has someone over him that's better. Turns out Tom Coughlin was the worst thing that happened to this franchise when that happened. Just giving you historical perspective. I don't know. You're right, though. It probably would help us. I feel like Doug is going to be a pushover coach for Baalke to control. Yeah, Baalke sucks, dude. I don't like Baalke at all. I think you got to. I don't know why he's here. I mean, again, unless the dude gets fired the day after the draft, it makes no sense to me. But that may happen. I mean, it's happened. I'm trying to think of the teams that it's happened to. A couple teams recently did fire their GMs right after the draft. Again, because they had the people in place, they'd been scouting the players. They actually are the most knowledgeable when it comes to their draft boards and things like that. Now is not the time to fire your scouting team if they're attached to your GM. That's all I'm saying. Not always the case. Sometimes it is. Bruce McGriff says Rick Spielman is coming in with Pederson. I would love Rick Spielman, dude. We looked at his draft picks. If you looked at my Twitter, I listed all of his draft picks. Drafted players like Justin Jefferson, Dalvin Cook. Drafted, Daniel Hunter. He undrafted free agent, Adam Thielen. He's brought in some talent. I mean, that's just to say a couple. I mean, he's had a lot, but at the same time, he's also brought in guys like Toby Gerhart. Drafted Toby Gerhart pretty high. Drafted Christian Ponder pretty high. Being a GM's hard. I like Spielman. Oh, sorry about that. I like Spielman, but you're going to hit and you're going to miss. And I know there's something to be said where the Vikings didn't have a lot of draft picks in the top, 20 the last couple of years because they've been good, which is a good thing. But you want to hit on those picks too. I mean, we missed on Taven Bryan really late in the draft, and people will never forgive Dave Caldwell for that. So you got to hit late in the draft too. And they drafted Mike Hughes, the cornerback from UCF. He didn't really work out. Irv Smith Jr., a late round pick. I liked Irv Smith Jr. So definitely better than Caldwell, definitely better than Balky. So I'm with you there. I'm with you. I'm gonna scroll down to the bottom here just so I can stay current. I apologize again if I missed it. Ben Lott says, "Oh, Gas was with that M. Jones jersey." Bro, come on, dude. You must be new down here, bro. Matt Jones is my boy, dude. I ride or die with Matt Jones. I wish he was the coach. I'm just kidding. All right. Kaio King, what do you think the Duval special play going to be? Okay. That's a good question. I like that. Dude, now this is some originality coming here. All right. Here's what I'm thinking. I think Laviska has a little hidden athleticism when it comes to throwing the ball. I've heard some things. Jet sweep, Laviska Shenault, fake end around Travis Etienne, freeze the middle linebackers, get outside the hashes, Trevor Lawrence, corner the end zone. It's got to be, right? Absolutely has to be. Sky Langford says, Shad must be giving Doug more control over the team, or else he wouldn't have bothered taking the job. That's a good point. No, that's a good point. I don't think Doug Pederson would come out of retirement or fired, whatever it is. I don't think he would take this job unless he had some control over the roster. I don't think he would do that. Again, I have no information, but it's not something that it seems like he would do. Honestly, again, I don't buy into all of the stuff about Byron saying it's Balky or me. I mean, I don't know. Like, there was no solid information about that happening or those words being said. If I'm Byron Leftwich, I have no problem waiting a couple years for Bruce Arians to retire. He had the support of Tom Brady. If he had the support of Tom Brady, don't you think the Tampa Bay franchise and owners are going to make him the coach in waiting? Bruce Arians is old as crap, dude. Like, think when you talk. If Tom Brady gave him an endorsement, Tampa Bay is not going to let him go. If anything, Tampa Bay is probably going to give him a contract extension, pay him more money, and tell him if he hangs around, he'll be the next coach of Tampa. I don't know. Again, I'm just making stuff up. Let's see here. We got Bruce Wayne. As long as he doesn't call the plays, I'm okay with it. Philly is my secondary team. He's the single worst play caller and decision maker many others have seen. Okay, so that's not good. I mean, when you're a Philly fan coming in here and saying that, and look, he's not popular in Philadelphia. He's really not. He really is. I mean, calling him the single worst play caller and decision maker, I mean, that's not good. And you hear those things. And again, this is a retread coach. This isn't a guy who is like gotten, his first chance. He's not a young offensive coordinator. He's gotten a chance at a team. That being said, he won a Super Bowl. Was it his team? Did he take over? I don't know. Ellis Patrick says, thoughts on this for the development of Trevor Lawrence? Okay. I think going forward, this is probably the best case scenario for Trevor Lawrence outside of Kellen Moore. Like, I made no bones about it. I wanted Kellen Moore here. I love Kellen Moore's play calling. I think he develops quarterbacks. I think everything he does, he thinks about quarterbacks. I know Doug Pederson was a quarterback. I know Doug Pederson was a quarterback's coach. I know that he did all these things as a quarterback. So that's what I'm saying. It's the next best scenario. But look, here's the thing, and here's what you got to remember. If I were to ask you what the best thing for Trevor Lawrence's development would be, wouldn't you say throw the ball like 50 times? That's what Urban Meyer did week 1, and people like raked him over the coals for going 50 times passing the ball. All right, I'm getting B News says go live with UCF Jaguar. What do y'all think? You think I should go live with them? I got 75 people in here. I mean, this is pretty good. Pokey says 443. Hello, United in chat. I'm flicking back and forth. Okay, if we're flipping back and forth, look, I'm not here for the monetization, all right? I don't make any money off this. I do this for fun. Let's go over to UCF Jaguars. Thank you guys for watching. We're going to pop over to UCF Jaguars channel. I'm going to freaking yell at him about all this crap, and then we'll see what happens. Thank you guys for watching. Subscribe to the channel because I do shows randomly. I'm sorry. I don't have a schedule. I wish I did, dude. I wish I did. I don't have that kind of – but my real job doesn't let me. Okay. Love you guys. Thank you for being in the chat. I love it.